So when we're going to create a new user, I think the best option is going to be to come and look for a user that has comparable rights management, and bring this down, copy them and make modifications. I think that will save a lot of time regarding some of the more tedious aspects of this process, which can be quite tedious at times. So this is not going to be a scrollable window, so I'm going to have to move around a little bit. All right, I'm going to start with this. Let's come back here, scroll this over. So this, I've got two pages open. This is user rights and roles. That's the spreadsheet we have in the Google Docs. And I'm on the DSC rights tab. That has sort of the default rights that we're going to want to use when we're creating or modifying digital signage coordinators. I'm going to scroll this over a little bit. Let's just make this a little tighter. All right, bring that in. So we've got the type of right and then the rights that we're going to be applying for that. Now within the administrator, in administrating users, I'm going to scan down here and look for, we don't need to be concerned about any of the users that are currently disabled. So I'm looking for the first no disabled that has either orange or red, which indicates there's a problem. And so Jalen Wynn is one of those. So I'm going to select Jalen. I'm going to say change for properties. We're going to leave these as is. I'm just going to double check spelling. Good. And hit next. Now we're going to start cross-referencing. So the first right that a DSC needs to have is approving messages. And I can look and see that currently Jalen has no ability to approve messages. So we're going to add that for the first one. We're going to add, choose the right, approving messages. And by default, it's to our top level organization. But we want to give her specific privileges just for the general content screens in her area. And if I look at user roles and rights, I can see Jalen Wynn. Where is she or he? I really don't know. Last name's Wynn is 23, is over student health services. So we're going to go back to our DSC, approving messages on the general content screens. Approving messages on UNCP general content screens, and then specifically for those screens that are in the health area. So health sciences, and then we're going to add another one, UNCP. It's going to go red because right now it's saying the umbrella organization, and we've made it specific up here, so these are in conflict, but they won't be for long. So I'm going to come back here down to general content screens and do the other health sciences, which is Health Science 4.1. And there's one more that we're kind of all lumping together in this particular one. So it's General Content Screens, and that is the one that's over in the Brave Health Center, which is this one right here. So now she has the ability to approve messages on all of the general content screens in that specific area. The next right we're going to look at is Managing Artwork. So Managing Artwork is there, general content screens, and that's good. And there are no directories in this health sciences area, so we don't need to add the UNCP directories one. So her manage artwork privilege is fine. Moving down the list, we've got manage messages, and that's going to mirror manage artwork, and manage messages does, so we're fine there. Again, no directories. Manage PC players, so the PC players is in that area. So we've got the two School of Nursing, Student Health Services Nursing, and the School of Nursing, and there should be a third. College of Health Sciences, I think, is the one, and this is where next summer when we get to rename these and make them match our naming scheme a little better, this will be more clear. So that's manage PC players. Manage personal content is already there. Schedule messages. This is what enables them to be able to add messages to playlists, which they need to be able to do on their own, and the all playlists for other areas. So since this right doesn't exist at all, first we're going to initiate that right, which is schedule messages. And within schedule messages, first is the umbrella organization, general content screens, and I'm going to start with the ones that are in that specific area. And again, for this one, it's going to be health sciences, and then general content screens. And you'll see it went red again because we're broader than our initial. And there's Health Sciences 2. And then the third one, which is over in the Braves Health Center. So those are all the ones they should have. So those are their specific screens. And if this were managed better, this would all be in a single line. We also want to give them the ability to schedule to the all lists for the other areas so they can request, that's their way of requesting their content be promoted in other places. And for this, we're going to go back to general content screens. And I'm just quickly going to scan down, and anytime I see an all on a name, I'm going to grab it. The nice thing about this is once I select it, we'll see EDUC all here. So that one's done. I can add another one. And if I go back to that same list, see EDUC all isn't there anymore. So it automatically removes them. There's no way to duplicate. So I can just quickly go down now and select the next all, and then go back. General content screens. And then scan down to see the next all, and we're just going to add all of the all lists. And this is one of the things that we can avoid having to do when we create new users if we duplicate an existing user, because these will already be in there. So we don't have to go in order, we can just kind of bounce around. The first all that my eyes land on is the one I'm going to add. I'm going to keep doing that until there are no more all lists. Kind of scanning down. Here's an old main all. Here is general content screens. Here's library all. Just continuing to scan for those all lists. Entrepreneurship are there. General content screens. You can see I'm just very quickly bouncing around here. Sciences all. Takes a little bit of the tediousness out. Scrolling through, there's UCM all. That's how they will request to UCM to have their content put on all of the screens across all the UCM screens if they wish to do that. I'm hoping they don't, but I want to give them that ability. General content screens, scrolling down again. I have to scroll down. So this is off the screen. I know there's a University Center all. There it is, University Center all. And I should look and see, now that I've hit the bottom of the list, that I'm just going to double check. There shouldn't be any more. Oh, see, I almost missed one. There's a Hickory Hall North all. Add another one. I'm going to keep going until I don't see any more alls in the list. And I don't see any more alls on the list. So we've got them all. So all of the alls are listed, all of the individuals are listed. This one is now extra, so I'm going to remove that. So now they have the ability to schedule messages in all of the places that they will need to schedule messages. And now we come back. So schedule messages is done. We did all the general screens. Any other players in their area, directories, they don't have any. And the UNCP general content screens, each of the all and the other areas. And the last they're going to need is use shared content, which is again a default, so that should already be there. Once they hit the bottom of this list, this one is done. I can hit next. See here, just double checking, manage PC players. Yep, I can hit next. And we're going to hit change. That one is done. Now when we look back at Jalen in the administer users list, we should see that they are no longer red or orange. And sure enough, they're a functioning color. So the next one to attack would be James Crouch. And we keep scrolling down. Josh Bussman, Kara Oxendine. We don't need to do Catania because she's already locked. I think she left the university or opted out, one of the two. This is a Sodexo one. So I don't know how that one is going to work with single sign-on. That's a puzzler. Lawrence Locklear. So we've got still several more in here to get to. I'll work on some, and if you can hit some, that would be awesome. And eventually we'll get everybody back up and running again. I hope this is helpful. Again, the resources that I'm using are that user rights and roles spreadsheet in our Visix. Go back to that. Let's say, we open close tab. That is in your MyDrive Visix team under the users. So for me, it's MyDrive Visix team, users, and users' rights and roles. And the DSC rights is where you'll see that list of rights. User rights and roles is where you will reference to see what area they're over to know which specific rights they should get as far as approving messages goes, and also for their individual schedule. And then the administer users. So hopefully that covers all of it. It took me a bit to figure it out. And if you run into anything or have any other questions or concerns or suggestions, of course, just let me know. This is also an example. So there's an example column over here if you just want to see one. So for approving messages, in order to do this for the Student Center, these would be the approvals they would have. Managing artwork would be the same. PC players here, they have a lot of PC players that they would manage. Personal content is the same. Scheduling messages, they have a lot of screens, and then here's all of the all screens too. And again, it doesn't matter what order these in. You can click in these, click through them whatever you want, and use shared content. You can see how tedious this could get for some locations with multiple screens. So duplicating an existing user, I think again will be a more efficient way of creating new users as they're needed. And now I'm going to hit stop.